knocking me out with your I don't care attitude. I was just chilling, wasn't looking for a date. But when I saw you, girl, I had to match the brakes. Turn this truck around, listen to my tires tearing up the ground. Gonna turn this truck around for you. Turn this truck around, drop it down low. knocking me out with your I don't care attitude. I was just chilling, wasn't looking for a date. But when I saw you, girl, I had to match the brakes. Turn this truck around, listen to my tires tearing up the ground. Gonna turn this truck around for you. Turn this truck around, drop it down low so you can hear it growl. Gonna turn this truck around for you. Chickadee check, check, check. Pop, 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 pop. Chickadee check, check, check. There we go. Sorry, apparently y'all couldn't hear me for the last few minutes, so I'm gonna mark 17. And yeah, that pretty well sums it up, boys. Sums up how my freaking life's been going. Welcome to the Little Tangerine Show. Hopefully everybody's has been doing good. Troy Hill says go Vols, baby. That's what we like to hear. I didn't intend on doing a podcast episode tonight, but I may just go ahead and turn this into a podcast episode anyways. I don't know when this will air. Might be before the Jonathan Wade interview, might be afterwards. Don't really know. But welcome to everybody out there in the internet lands. We are live on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. If you want to follow me, www.bigdrewski.com, baby. That's the easiest freaking way to do it. I got my Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. We do have TikTok on here tonight as well. Troy Hill, it looks like you got a couple big fish in your default picture. I'm guessing you are a fisherman of sorts, and those look like, from what I can see, a couple pretty good sized bass, so my kind of peeps. But welcome. I guess the first 15-ish minutes was kind of a warm-up because I had no clue that I wasn't live. Not very surprising because I just have been dragging. This is like one of the first times in a long time where I was coming into the live and I was kind of like not 100% sure if I was even going to do it because I just am so freaking exhausted. I actually had to take like an old man nap before I started tonight because I just was like not sure if I had it in me, but I dug deep and went ahead and just, freaking, I was like, you know what? No, man, I got to do it for the peeps. I am flying solo tonight. Casper is still dealing with some family stuff, so prayers would be much appreciated for him and his family. They are really going through quite a bit. It's been rough for them, and, it puts us in a weird spot because, as far as, like, the lives and the podcast, last year, I'll be honest with you, the podcast was kind of an afterthought. This year, the podcast is becoming more of, like, it's in the forefront of my brain. But if I'm being honest, last year, I just was kind of like, I was putting them out, but I wasn't necessarily like trying to do anything with them. I was mostly just focusing on the social media and everything. Last year was about growth. This year's about giving back, though. Pretty excited, man. Just I'm blessed to have, a form of social media and a quote unquote platform that at times has made me money, but at other times has just filled my soul, as corny as that sounds, man. And so, this year, one thing that me and Casper has been talking about and that we've been focused on is just like, man, we just want to give back. Like, that's really the epicenter of like what we want. It's like we literally just want to, I guess I'll speak for myself since he's not here, but like, dude, I just want to be able to like freaking, I would love to be able to take like 5, 10, 20 kids or something, take them into like, the local sports store, and just, turn them loose. That's something that, I'd like to do. Like I said, giving back is just, it's something that means a lot to me. But it's like whatever platform I have, dude, I just want to like take it and try to use it for some sort of good, wherever I can. But dude, it's like life has just been crazy, especially this last week, dude. It was like, I had some people that I know personally that had, and I don't talk about the lives, I don't talk about the podcast or anything like that, dude. I just kind of do them. And,
I don't talk to people I know because, to be honest with you, most of the time people that you know don't really care about what you're doing until it reaches a certain level. Um, and I had some people that I know personally kind of find out about it, and they were just like, I guess, like blown away or whatever, that like, oh dude, I didn't know you was like doing all that. I didn't know, and like went to and looked at some of my numbers and stuff. It was like looking at the follower numbers and like, dude, that's insane, blah blah blah. And for me, I kind of hate stuff like that. I know it sounds bad, but like I just really, to me, that's like, it's like not that big of a deal. Like 24,000 followers on Facebook's not a big deal. 8,000 followers on TikTok's not a big deal. Some people are like, think that's a lot, but in my mind, I'm like, psh, I mean, there's people that's got, 400, 500,000, whatever. When I take my dog out, he does not give a crap while he's crapping about, 24,000 likes. My wife, all she cares about is, if whether or not I took the trash out, or, whether or not we can pay rent and utilities and stuff. And so it's like, it's funny because I guess the way my brain works, I don't really think about that stuff, but other people are like, I guess, put more stock into it. But it's just weird. It's like, had a really nice interview with Coach Wade, Jonathan Wade, former Tennessee Vol football player, freaking, like I said, played in the NFL for a few years. I mean, just incredibly inspirational dude. We had an awesome interview for the podcast. It was insane because, like, literally we just sat down and, I mean, it was just like click, 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 click. And, I mean, he's got some amazing stories. I started to just stream the episode tonight, but the video was literally like downloading at the last possible second. I told everybody it was going to go, I was going to air it on Monday, so kind of couldn't do that, but yeah, it'll air Monday. If you guys are not already, make sure that you follow the podcast, specifically if you like Tennessee Vols football. But if you just like college football in general, dude, hop on there and check the podcast out, because we cover a little bit of everything. But and we got a lot of other people that's lined up to come on, other ones that I'm still working on. But I mean, that interview is freaking awesome. Like, I can't wait for y'all to see it. But and then the funny thing was, I actually found out, I was driving with one of my coworkers back to Knoxville, and we were just driving, chilling, shooting the bull, so to speak. And he was asking me about, I used to do music. I did country music for a long time. And he was asking me about my music and stuff that I used to do. And I was talking to him, and lo and behold, as I'm telling him about my music and stuff, I go to Google it, and freaking TikTok pops up, and I'm like, TikTok, what the heck's that? Like the last time I released a song, TikTok wasn't a thing. So I looked it up, and apparently, I guess I was grandfathered in somehow. Durmax King says, hey, bro, what's up, man? I was just talking about how crazy this week's been, but I'm like scrolling on TikTok, and then I went over and looked at Facebook Reels. Sure enough, one of my old songs is on there, which, like I said, I must have got grandfathered in with some of my distribution stuff. But it's funny because, there's people on there making videos to one of my old songs that I did, which, I mean, it was kind of a joke project, this specific one. But, there's like 70 people that have done videos to this, and I go and check, and I'm like, oh, hey, cool. Still getting royalties off of it. That's kind of crazy. But, it's just weird, dude. I mean, the last 3 days I've probably slept, on average 4 hours. But it's like, sit down, talk to a former NFL player who's just an awesome dude for the podcast. Found out that I'm still making money off of old music, and it's just weird how life's going right now, man. Crazy. Durmax King says not much. Watch the Cowboys lose. Well, it's just preseason though. Ain't no thing. Is the new Madden out? I swore that this was gonna be like the first year in like the last 10 that I pre-ordered it, but I don't know what they're gonna do in like a year or two though, because they've already released Madden 25, so I guess they'll have to call it something different. Madden NFL GOAT Edition. August 15th to 23rd was today, or 2023. The 12th, so I guess technically you could still pre-order it. It comes out Monday. I swore to myself that I was going to pre-order it this year, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. JD White says, well, I can't pop in and not say, what's up, big dog? Football is in the air. Dude, it is. I was literally just talking, which I know you're not a Vols fan, JD, but on the next podcast episode, I'm interviewing a former Vol for life, Jonathan Wade, defensive back, played in the NFL for a while, played for the Cincinnati Bengals, the Rams, Lions, Dolphins. But we had a pretty good conversation, and he was actually talking pretty highly of your South Carolina Gamecocks. I think you're a Gamecocks fan. I'm pretty sure. It's insane, dude, because like literally my Facebook page is like the traction during football season hits the millions, but like right now it's like 100 to 200,000 whatever people react or whatever daily or weekly, whatever it is. I don't know. I can't keep track of it, but I get so many comments, all these people getting worked up. And so, like Durmax King is on here and on TikTok, and he's one of like my only Georgia people I like. I've got like 3. So usually the ones that are like cool, I can remember y'all's usernames and stuff, but dude, I try to remember it, but it's insane to keep up with. Durmax King says I got the new Madden pre-ordered. I swore I was going to have it pre-ordered because I'm always like, I need to get on the front side of it, but I always forget. I wish that I could bring TikTok's chat into this, but TikTok just don't want to play ball with me yet. JD says, that's correct. I'm high on the offense, not so much on the defense. Apparently, Juice Wells sustained a leg injury today. That's rough for y'all. What I started to say, though, was Jonathan Wade. I'm not going to give away the whole interview, but I asked him, when should we roll? Because we didn't do all orange on the uniforms last year. I asked him, when should we roll out them all orange uniforms? And his response was, not against Georgia, not an away game, not against anybody else other than the South Carolina Gamecocks. And then he proceeded to say, he said, man, like, basically when he played, because he played 02 to 06, he said, the Gamecocks wasn't necessarily much as far as like nationally recognized, but in his words, it was an absolute bar fight is how he described. And I told him, I was like, dude, Tennessee Vols in South Carolina is one of those matchups that for some reason is always just like absolutely, I mean, they do nothing but duke it out all game long. I don't know why that game is so scrappy, but his exact words were bar fight. So I thought that was pretty cool. Durmax King says, I'm still waiting for the damn college football to come out. Oh, yeah, 2024. I think August 2024 is the release date. I'm going to get my hands on the newest mod though at some point. I just haven't had time with the podcast and everything, but I'm gonna get my hands on the newest mod at some point. That way I can get it rocking and rolling on here. K Master George 42, what up? By the way, TikTok, I have you guys pulled up through the app. I do not, or sorry, I have you guys pulled up through the software. I don't have the app pulled up, so I do apologize ahead of time. I'm actually going to get Clapper going too over here off to the side. If you guys are sending likes or gifts or anything like that, I can't currently see that, but I do want to say thank you guys. I never asked for likes. I never asked for any of that stuff. So anytime y'all send that, I always appreciate it. JD, I seen y'all's message. Just give me 1 second. Like I said, I always forget about Clapper, but I try to go live on as many different platforms as I can. Just because, I mean, it's just fun and more people. But B-Fam says, go Big Orange, baby. Toot, toot. That's what I'm talking about. Get this season rolling right. Will it be a season of redemption, or will it be a season of just obliteration? I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see what Joe Milton's got. ESPN, I think it was, said he's like one of the most influential people to the playoff race this year. And again, that's not me saying that because I'm a Vols fan, but I mean, it's really just, I mean, he's either going to have a Heisman caliber-ish year, or he's going to send Nico out there probably earlier than he should. So we're going to see what happens. Eddie Allen, 2 weeks, baby. Go Big Orange. That's what I'm talking about, baby. JD White says, make sure you share that interview with me for sure. I'll definitely check it out. Sounds like great stuff. Dude, as a freaking college football fan, whether you like the Vols or not, it was really cool. Now, at the first hour-ish of the episode, we talked about, he talked about high school football, recruiting, NIL, transfer portal. We talked about NASCAR at one point. I mean, it just got wet and wild right off the rip. But the first hour or so, I mean, we covered a lot of ground. And then when he talked about when he played at Tennessee, and then what was the other one? Oh, yeah, he told that story that I was telling you about. But, I mean, dude, the stories and stuff that we got, just as a college football fan, it was just kind of cool to listen to. But, I mean, dude, we talked about Jordan and LeBron. We talked about baby Gronk. We talked about freaking, I asked him if he ever had any, like, accidents on the field. And he told me about this one time he almost boo-booed on himself in the middle of a game, had to take off. Talked about running through the tee. I mean, again, if you're not a Vols fan, you might be slightly less interested. But, I mean, college traditions like that, like, I don't know about y'all. I just get jacked up about college football. I don't care if it's Vols, or who. I mean, it don't matter. I mean, Clemson, when they run down to the field's pretty freaking cool. South Carolina, when they're doing that, whatever that song, I mean, it's freaking banging. I mean, Wisconsin, when they play jump around in the stands, I mean, the traditions, dude, is what it's freaking about. Even, it doesn't matter if it's the Gator Chomp or, whatever, which I don't know if they even do that anymore, if that's politically incorrect, but, I just love college football, and I get jacked up about it, Eventually, I'd like to actually have some opposing teams players on there as well, but JD White says, "Oh shoot, NASCAR talk too, huh?" Yeah, he told us a funny story about how when he went to a NASCAR race and got scared shitless. It was pretty funny. 201 in the sandstorm, my friend. Yeah, I mean, college football traditions, man, you gotta love it. Mark says Milton should be great this year. Coaches will have him ready. I think they will. We've got a small snippet of what he may or may not do this year. He has definitely improved. So last year, and again, I'm not going to be ignorant, okay, it was in garbage time. with the exception of the Orange Bowl, which, I mean, Clemson was a good team. We were basically playing against this year's Clemson team because everybody else that was going to be drafted didn't play. And, I mean, let's be real. If they hit their field goals, obviously that's a different game. But in the small snippet that we got last year of Joe Milton, 900 yards, 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. His completion percentage went up to like 63%, which was like, 10% more than he has the rest of his career. So, I mean, on paper, he looks good, looks improved. Drewski, Brian Mantooth says, "What's up, buddy? We're just talking college football. Talking college football and balls and whatever." But Milton appears to have improved, okay? It's a small snippet, but it's enough for me to be confident. Like, I'm not going to, second guess him. I mean, I mean, let's look at the facts, guys. I mean, when's the last time Vols won the championship? 98. Okay, Peyton left the year before. T. Martin comes trotting out. Everybody's like, well, this guy ain't going to be as good as Peyton. And then they ended up winning. And I'm not saying we're going to win the Natty or nothing, but I'm just saying, like, everybody loved Hooker, but that doesn't mean that Milton can't be successful. No, Casper is off tonight. He is still handling stuff with the family, which, if y'all are religious, you believe in good karma, Zen, whatever, send good vibes his way. He's still dealing with the passing of his mother, which, Lil Tangerine show, Lil Tangerines, man, I feel like we're all kind of family. A lot of you guys hop on here, which I know, like, we're not in football season yet. A bunch of people's going to come back during football season, but a lot of you guys hop on here and you got to where you know each other, and you guys communicate with each other and stuff. And so I feel like we've built a little community here, people that just love college football. Yeah, sure, I get on here and act ignorant and troll a little bit and whatever from time to time, but that's just kind of what you got to do on social media. But, Casper, my co-host, those of you that don't know, his mother passed away, and, I'm not that close with my mom. I'll be the first to tell you that, but, still, when you lose a close family member, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. But yeah, he had to go down. Still dealing with some of that stuff, but yeah, he's hanging out with his family this weekend. But have no fear, we are releasing a new podcast episode that me and him recorded Thursday night. I was just talking about a minute ago with former Vol for Life Jonathan Wade, aka Coach Wade now, and I'm telling you, it's over 2 hours, and I cut it down as much as I could. But I'm gonna be honest with you, it's one of the best interviews I've ever done. Definitely, probably the best episode we've ever done. But I mean, it's we covered so much ground, but it was insanely good. So, but I'm gonna be dropping that episode Monday on the podcast platforms, and then the video will probably be out like Wednesday or Thursday or whatever. So have no fear, Casper is here. He's just not here tonight. Mark says, sorry to hear about that. Prayers for him and his family. Greatly appreciate that, man. Like I said, the people that hop on my channels, now granted, there's some people that hop on here and try to troll and all that. I mean, it is what it is. It's college football. But for the most part, man, the people that hop on here pretty constantly are just college football fans. And as you guys well know, there's a difference between, there's a difference between rivalries and the camaraderie of like college football. And it doesn't matter, doesn't matter what team you root for. If, their star player goes down or whatever, then, most people are like, they feel bad, and they're going to stand there and pray that he pops back up and goes back out there, whether he's on your team or not. Like, it just is what it is. That's just the camaraderie of football. But that's what's nice about, man, like the little community that we've built or whatever. It's made up of people that just freaking love football, and so I can't wait to get fired back up. Football season. I know for me personally, just from the streams and the all that stuff, it's obviously a lot better during football season, but I just can't wait, dude. Every Saturday night, baby, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we're gonna be on here talking about freaking whatever happened. I'll be here even if the Vols lose. I might be drinking a little bit more heavily, but I'll be here. Bryant says, glad I'm a part of this community, but bro, you were forever entwined in this community. I'm telling you though, do you remember Jonathan Wade when he played for the Vols? 02 to 06, number 4, out there picking off defenses. I don't know if you remember him or not, but like I said, just did an interview with him the other day on the podcast, dude. I can't wait to release it, dude. I'm telling you, it's just, we covered so much ground. I mean, he told some funny stories about when he was getting recruited. He told some funny stories about, Philip Fulmer, people that he played with. I mean, like, we covered so much ground that it's almost hard for me to even promote it, really, just because it's like, we just covered so much ground. What up, Clapper? I see y'all hanging out down there. I got y'all plugged in with everybody else. You just can't see what they're doing, and they can't see what you're doing either, to be fair. But we got Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Kick. We might have Instagram plugged in. Not sure. It says it is. I don't think it's working though. But then we got TikTok over here to the side. One of these days, I will have everybody, hopefully, plugged in on the same one. But TikTok, just don't always want to work with me, so it is what it is. But what's some other great college football traditions? I said Wisconsin playing jump around. I mean, you got, the Gators in the swamp doing the chomp, all that stuff. I mean, sheesh. Got South Carolina, how they come out. That's, always pretty cool. So many freaking college football traditions. It's insane. Yeah, I'm trying to see if Instagram's flowing too. I don't think it is, though. Doesn't appear to be. But life moves on. But yeah, dude, my week has just been freaking, it's been insane. Bryant says, did I tell you that I'm going to the Florida game? I think you did. Well, okay, so, because you're going to the Bama game too, right, this year, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I remembered you saying you were going to the Bama game, but I couldn't remember if you said you were going to that one too. Seth Goodwin, welcome back. Got some hardcore VFLs in here tonight. I'll probably release some snippets from the interview. Actually, I'll probably release some snippets from the breaks within the next few days. Y'all should see that. Possibility, but I don't know about the Bama game. What's funny is, so I completely, in a momentary lapse of judgment, I know I'm going to be way down south, but in a momentary lapse of judgment, my vacation was supposed to be like beginning or middle of the year, and it just, I mean, I had my washer crapped out on me, had some car issues, all this stuff happened. So I don't even know why I have those on. All this stuff happened, and so we ended up having to postpone it. Well, I was like on the phone with my wife, and I'm talking to my wife or whatever, and usually it's not an issue. I don't know if we're later or something this year or what on that game, but we was wanting to go down to the beach closer to her birthday, and I'm talking to her, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that should work. And so our vacation, I'll be driving down the day of the Florida game. Still have to figure out what I'm going to do streaming wise. I think I'll still be able to stream. It might be a little tricky or whatever, but yeah, I'll actually be down there the week of the Florida game too. I thought about, and I'm not going to say where I'm going yet, just for safety reasons. But yeah, I thought about going to find like a local bar or something and trying to watch it, but I don't know. I mean, those are, you're in enemy territory there, but yeah, I'll be down there too. Chris says, go Vols! Vols by 50. What's everybody that's on here right now, which my Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Kick, all that, I can't actually see the numbers right here, for whatever reason it doesn't show me on the screen. I know we got a few on TikTok here, but what is our guesstimation for what's going to be, the year-to-year totals? I mean, who do y'all think's going to win the SEC West, the SEC East? What's some predictions that y'all have for this year? I'll start it off. I did one of those like season predictor things, which all it is you go through there and you pick each, week by week who you think's going to win, and you click and whatever and move through it. But the way mine worked out was actually I had Tennessee going 11-1, and then I had Bama winning the West, which with Bama, I mean, I feel like it's kind of make or break this year. I know it sounds crazy, but I had Bama winning the West, and then Tennessee going first, I think, in the East. Had them beating Georgia, so we'll see what happens. But in my scenario, I had us losing to Bama away, and then face them in the SEC championship, and hopefully winning. That's just the way it worked out. Bryant says, I got a prediction. Texas beats Bama. Definitely not going to surprise me either way. They played them pretty tough last year. If I'm not mistaken, though, I think Texas is playing them at Bama this year. I think. Now, granted, I mean, I don't know how Bama's quarterback play and all that stuff's going to be this year, but I definitely think that home field advantage would probably help. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, and then I think me and Casper kind of did like a makeshift ACC one. We did a live the other night that I was thinking about turning into a podcast and didn't, but actually I need to like pull at least those little playoff predictor stuff that we did out and make that a podcast episode or whatever, because it was actually pretty comical. But me and Cass were just on there drinking, making predictions, which is probably not good. Which is funny because, like, for some reason people want to, like, hold me to them as far as, like, whatever. Like, now it's to the point people are pulling up, stuff that I said a year ago and, like, see, this is what I'm like, dude, I was probably drunk when I said that. Like, I wasn't paying attention, Sober tonight, but it be like that sometimes. But yeah, Texas beating, but honestly, my bold prediction, and people laugh, but I'm going to say they sneak in there early and snag one. My bold prediction, my way too early drunk prediction, if you will, I think Colorado's going to sneak in there, and I think they're going to get TCU week 1. I don't know why. I just feel like Coach Prime he's going to have them ready to rip, roar, and go. And I just feel like they're going to go down there, and I just think that for some reason they're going to sneak in there, catch them napping. TCU's coming off of a, historic run for their program. And I could totally see Coach Prime just having them ready to go. Now, I don't, the over under for Colorado is set at 3.5, so that means that they're predicting maybe 4 wins this year, which I think they're going to get 4, but I think that might be one of them. I know that's kind of bold, but I think for some reason I think they're going to sneak in there and just steal one. So that's my bold prediction, but I always love hearing y'all's bold predictions. Which, by the way, if you're watching this later, which I know a lot of you guys do, if you're watching this later and you want to get some questions in, all you got to do is www.bigdrewski.com. There's a little tab there. I'm going to pull it up, too, just to make sure I'm telling you all the right info. But www.bigdrewski.com. Go over to it's a second tab, the contact tab, and then you can submit a question. There's a little email the show section. There's also, you can subscribe to the newsletter and stuff for giveaways. We gave away a $25 gift card on the last podcast. I let old Jonathan Wade pick one out. Can't tell the winner yet. I'm just going to let it ride on the podcast episode or whatever. But we gave away a $25 gift card. And, it was pretty freaking awesome. We're going to be doing a lot more giveaways this year as well. So, sorry, had a message coming in here. Sorry. But yeah, gonna be doing all kinds of giveaways. Gonna be all kinds of fun stuff like that this year. We're gonna see how it goes. But I've got technically a jersey we can give away. I don't know. Maybe if I can get it out, maybe give away some rookie cards for certain players. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff to give away this year. But like I said, my big thing is last year was kind of the season of building it up. And this year is more about just giving back, and that's really my main thing that I want to do is I just want to give back, dude, and just help people wherever I can. The way that I see it, man, is like, this platform is just, it's just a matter of, this stuff can disappear in a second. I don't necessarily, Kenny Hokey, what up? I don't necessarily think it's like permanent or whatever. I try to, whatever. Sorry, like I said, my sister's texting me. She's wanting to see my daughter tomorrow, but we're trying to work out the schedules. Sometimes life gets in the way of stuff like this. But yeah. Sorry, I figured I'd let you know. I didn't know until I text you. Yeah, like I said, she's trying to. My sisters want to see my daughter tomorrow, but we got some other family stuff going on, trying to formulate a plan or whatever. But yeah, no, like all this stuff is just freaking, By the way, guys, like I said, I said I was gonna go till 10-ish. At this point, I'm just winging it. As long as y'all are, having a good time or whatever, we'll keep rolling. But I know a lot of you guys got to get up early for church and everything like that. It's not football season, so people just, they're not staying up late. I'm trying to train my body right now, just to be honest with you, to push it to where I'm trying to get used to rolling until like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then still having to get up, and do the normal thing on Sundays, the normal routine. So I'm trying to, train my body right now, but, with it not being college football season, and I think, and again, I'm kind of thinking out loud here. What up, Joey? I'm kind of thinking out loud here, but But I think this probably next upcoming off season, I'm probably going to restrict the lives down to. I'll probably restrict them down to about an hour or so during the off season or whatever, just because I tried to keep it rolling year round, but like I said, right now I'm just a normal dude out here living, and so I think next year we're gonna tone it down a little bit, but again, just to promote it, those of you that like I said, are listening to this later. Next episode is going to be an episode with Jonathan Wade, Coach Wade, former, Vol for Life, NFL defensive back, now turned coach. Awesome, phenomenal human being. We had an incredible interview with him. We covered so much ground and it was insane. So excited, man, to just... I cannot wait to release that. But yeah, it went pretty much great. But we gave away a $25 gift card. If you missed that, you are probably not following the Little Tangerine Show Facebook page. That is a Facebook page that I created dedicated to just the podcast. That way, everybody can be involved. And it's nothing against my Big Drewski page, but, the Little Tangerine Show is more about me and Casper. I've actually got a couple more buddies I want to bring on as well. But it's a little bit more about me and Casper on the Little Tangerine Show page. And I'm trying to keep a lot of the college football stuff there. That way my, Little Tangerine or my Big Drewski page ain't getting, just pummeled with everything. But yeah, we're going to be doing all kinds of giveaways this year. I don't know that, I would say my goal is every time I have an interview to try to give something away. And actually, my goal is to allow whoever I'm interviewing a chance to give something away. So, but yeah, make sure that you're following me on there. Definitely check out www.bigdrewski.com. That's where the easiest way to keep up with everything. There's a tab on there, and again, I'm going to pull it up just so I make sure I give you all the correct information. But when you go to www.bigdrewski.com, as soon as you land on the welcome page, at the very top, there's a link when you click on that to listen to the podcast. If you scroll down, there's a tab for not missing out on free stuff. Again, season 2 is the year of give, baby. We just want to give back. There is a link to check out the store, which, to be honest with you, I need to load some more stuff in there. I've been meaning to do that. I haven't. But at the very top, there's a tab for contact. If you want to send the show an email, usually at the end of the show, and like I said, this one's kind of just at random, but I used a lot of questions last week, or, with the Jonathan Wade interview, but if you want to send us a question, you want it read aloud on the air or whatever, there's a contact tab there for that. When you click the watch page, it pulls up the YouTube, the giveaways tab. Feel free to click on that, and then any giveaways or whatever that I got going on at that current point in time, you'll be able to get caught up with that. And then we're also, something new I'm going to do is a support VFL tab. That way you can support former Vol for Life. So obviously I know a good chunk of my followers is Vols fans, so it is what it is. But let's see, where are we at? We're probably we're a little under an hour, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. Again, today was just, again, this week has just been absolutely insane. It has been just a wild ride, dude. It's weird to me to have people coming up to me that I know, that just me personally, that are stumbling across the stuff now because they've seen it in passing, because the reach is just going further and further and further out. And at times it's weird because they're kind of more excited than I am, and it's not that I'm not excited, but I just, I'm one of those people that I like to try to stay grounded. I don't know at what point I will, I don't know at what point it will change for me. I don't know if that's 50,000, 100,000 followers, 500,000, a million, whatever. But for me, I just try to stay grounded, and I just try to be, honest about expectations and goals. But it's just weird to me when I have people coming up. It's like, dude, I see what you're doing. I see your stuff all the time. That's awesome. You're hitting it big and all. It's like, man, I'm just a normal dude. It's not, don't get me wrong. I'm thankful and I'm blessed and I'm, whatever. But again, I feel like, this could all end at any second. That's kind of my mentality, is like, this could all end at any second. And so for me, I'm just kind of like thinking, like, I'm just going to enjoy it while I can. And so while I'm able to, and I feel like I'm being blessed with it while I'm doing it, I want to be able to take that opportunity and give back, dude. So, but yeah, so again, I'm going to shut this one down a little early tonight, to be honest with you, man. I've had so many late nights, and it's funny, man, because like I've had people hit me up here recently. Again, people start hitting you up when you start hitting a certain level and numbers start looking a certain way. But I've had people hit me up and be like, well, I'd like to start a show too, man. Like, I want to do a podcast, and I'd love to do a sports podcast. Can you give me any advice? And my advice is always kind of the same. Basically, my advice is try it. Just try it. Because, for one, everybody always wants to critique. They're always like, well, you should do this for an intro, or, oh, you should do this. You should play this song here. And, you should, everybody has pointers of like what you should and shouldn't do. So I'm always like, hey, don't like it? Try it. Do your own thing. Do your own, sports show, sports podcast. Appreciate the likes, Spencer. I guess I can see the likes on here. I didn't think I could. I can't see the total number, but I can see when y'all are doing it. But, but I keep having all these people ask me like, well, how do you do, sports podcasts? I want to do one, like, dude, the biggest thing is like, it is insanely difficult. Like, it is more difficult than like you could ever imagine. And I've had people since I've started mine who have tried to start their own, and they just give up like after a month or two. And I'm not saying that to discourage anybody, but it's insanely hard, and it's far more difficult than most people imagine, because like the thing is like nobody understands like how much time it actually takes is the biggest thing. Assuming you work a 40-hour week job. What up, Devin? Assuming you work a 40-hour week job, that means that, you're coming home. Let's say you get home at 5. Most people want to try to be asleep by 8. Now, you can stay up till 10. That gives you an extra 5 hours. But, if you go to sleep by midnight, let's just say you wake up, you do the 8 to 5 thing, and you wake up at 7. Well, if you go midnight to 7, that's 7 hours. Is not too much. Joshua says so much time into it takes a toll for sure. I'm guessing you tried one before too. I'm just talking about buddies of mine, which, by the way, TikTok is not included in the stream with everybody else. So you guys are not as alone as you think you are. We got Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and everybody else going. But yeah, it's like, you got a few hours at the end of every day. If you got a wife and a kid, that 5 hours that you think you have goes by pretty quick. So normally I try to hang out with them up until about 8-ish. And then I try to, be awake from like 8 to 10 working on stuff. Now I've got to be at work by like 7. But I live like 30 minutes away, so I try to leave by 6:30. So I usually get up at 5:30. So if I stay up to midnight, that's like 5.5 hours or whatever. T says, "Go Vols!" Ooh, T. That's a hard name to deny there. It's as if it was meant to be. But yeah, go Vols. I got so much Vol stuff around me. Y'all can't even really see the majority of it. But I mean, we got signed footballs, mini helmets, and all kinds of stuff over here. But yeah, man, it's like you come home and, so then it's like, okay, well, I'll do it on the weekend. Well, I mean, at some point it kind of turns into a sort of a job because, you're working on stuff while you're there with your family. Well, I mean, it takes an excruciating amount of time. And what's funny is, like, most people find out pretty quick, your family is really supportive of you starting your own podcast or show or whatever, streaming, whatever it is that you want to do. And they're super supportive until you start missing stuff. And then when you start missing stuff, then all of a sudden, you kind of turn into an a-hole. And that's usually the next level that gets people is like, that first level of it taking an absorbent amount of time, more amount of time that you could, like I said, imagine until you actually do it. The time that it takes is the first level that people quit, but that second level is the hardest one, dude. Whenever you start missing stuff and people are looking at you like, well, you're just over there pedaling around on the computer, right? It's not until you start making money with it or you start getting a certain level of followers or whatever it is that they start changing their mind. But that second phase is really hard, dude. Joshua Goldston says, I'm a single father, so find the time to do so is rough for me. Yeah, I mean, I'm a married father. Like, me and my wife, now granted, I am fortunate because she's like my best friend and super supportive. She gets it more than most women would, and I am blessed there. But there's times where, like this week, every night, I'm preparing interview questions. I'm designing graphics. I'm, researching topics, like whatever it may be. For the interview, I interviewed Jonathan Wade this past week, which, dude, I can't talk about that enough. That's going to be an awesome episode. It's going to air Monday, but, it's like you're preparing, and then it's like she's supportive, but then she's also looking at me because, like, she wants to watch Hell's Kitchen, which is like, or, Netflix or whatever, something that we do a lot. And it's like, baby, I wish I could, but, I got to prepare. And then after the interview, which ran, like, I didn't go to sleep till like midnight. That was Thursday night. Got up, had to get up, ass early for work. Went and worked all day, come home, and then, last night I was up till like 3-4 o'clock, editing video and all that stuff, whatever. And then I rolled into tonight, and I was like, oh, dang it, man. I forgot. Gonna do the lives, baby, because I do them every Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And like I said, I'd planned on getting off at 10, but I'm like, as long as y'all are on here having a good time, whatever, I'll roll for a little bit. But it's an absorbent amount of time, dude. And everybody thinks that it's super easy, but that's, like I said, that's why I always tell everybody, dude, just try it. Because, and the other thing is, too, it's funny because, and I'm not saying this to sound like arrogant or whatever, because like once you get to know the real me, I'm actually not like, I'm pretty laid back and just, I guess you're not humble if you call yourself humble, but like I don't let like anything like that get to me. But anyway, so but it's just funny because like I would say that just as a blanket statement, I probably know 80% more than like your average just person on the street that likes sports, college football, whatever. And there's a lot of people like me that know a lot about sports. And so they're like, well, I'm just going to start my own show. And it's funny how you think you know a lot, but then when you put stuff out on the internet and you've got 1.2, 1.9 million people seeing your stuff, 3 million people seeing your stuff, and they're commenting and they're reading your stuff, you say that somebody threw 7 interceptions instead of 6, or, they want to pick apart every little thing you say, and you're like, bro, hell, cut me a little bit of slack, sheesh. But people want to crucify you anytime you get one, or, you get one, win or loss wrong from a season that happened 30 years ago or something. It's just funny, man. People pick your stuff apart. But that's the third level. Once it starts getting it, when people start shitting on you, that most people just can't handle. Pardon my French. I'm probably not going to edit that cuss word out on the podcast episode either, so I apologize. Sticky Finger says, do you think Tennessee will beat Georgia this year? That's how I had my my preseason poll laid out. When I did mine the other day, I don't know, those of you, I don't know how many of y'all follow the Little Tangerine Show Facebook page or whatever, but, that's how I had it going. I had us beating Georgia at home, so hopefully it'll happen. We'll see. I'm not saying that Georgia's not going to be good, and I'm not saying that the Vols are going to be great. I just need for I'll put it to you like this. If we were going to win, it would need to be this year, and that's why I'm putting all my eggs in the Joe Milton basket. I'm Team Joe, baby. Joshua Goldson says, I think with how Neyland will be, Tennessee has a good chance. 100% agree with you, just like they did last year when they beat Bama. The only thing for me now, I said this a few episodes back, and this goes out to Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube as well, all you guys. To me, this is the more important question, so Vols fans, listen up. Whether you're watching this live now, like Joshua Goldston and Sticky Finger and T and all these great people that's on here hanging out, or you're listening to this later, I want you to think about one thing. This is the question I think is more important, okay? Everybody is focused on Joe Milton because he's got a great head of hair, awesome smile, them pearly whites. He can throw the football 1.5 miles. Everybody's focusing on Joe Milton. To me, the bigger question is not what is Joe Milton going to do, or is Joe Milton going to be good? Is Joe Milton going to be accurate? That's not the question that we should be asking, despite that being the question that everybody's asking. To me, the more important thing is it's a two-parter, but the more important thing is how are we going to do with the new offensive coordinator, and how big of a hole is Hyatt going to really leave? Now, at first, everybody's like, he's just one dude, but let's break this down and think about it. And again, I talked about this a couple episodes back. So, again, Little Tangerine Show, it's a play off of words. Everybody calls their show the Big Orange Show, so mine's the Little Tangerine Show. I call it that for a reason, because I talk about college football a lot, but it is revolved a lot around the Vols. But the bigger question is, how big of a hole is Hyatt going to leave not being here? And what I mean by that is Bama, okay? We beat Bama in the absolute just biggest, most entertaining slobber knocker that's probably been played in the last 10, 15 years, okay? Tit for tat. It took them missing a field goal. It took us hitting the most beautiful, ugly kick I've ever seen in my life, which, by the way, if y'all follow me on social media, I got to hold that ball, baby, that went through the uprights. Shout out to Chase McGrath. That was freaking awesome. It smelled like Bama tears, for the record. But we won on the most beautiful, ugly kick of all time. But If Hyatt doesn't play that game, I don't think we win. Okay. The man caught the ball 6 times. 5 of them were touchdowns. He had over 200 yards receiving, which I'm going to look it up to get the exact numbers. But he only caught the ball 6 times, but went for 5 of them were touchdowns, okay? Over 200 yards receiving. I mean, those are not your normal typical numbers, right? So, you know, the question to me is, 207 yards, 5 touchdowns on 6 passes. To me, the question is, because Cedric Tillman is massively underrated. I think as far as your prototypical make and model of like a wide receiver, I actually think Cedric Tillman has the potential to have a longer, more successful career, and I think he's massively underrated because he didn't play a lot last year. But the question to me is Brew better than Cedric? Is Squirrel better than Hyatt? If not, that's fine, okay? But we had, on paper, the best wide receiver that we've had in probably 15 years. Nationally recognized, we all know what happened last year. But if they're not as good as Tillman and Hyatt, that's fine. But where's the rest of that production going to come from? That, to me, is the more important question. Everybody's focusing on Joe, and I get it. It's fun and sexy to talk about or whatever. But to me, the bigger question is, are we going to be able to replace Hyatt's output, and are we going to be able to do that with a new offensive coordinator? Getting back into the questions. I think with the Vols bringing in Thornton and with Brew and Squirrel plus Keaton. Now, here's the thing. Keaton was here last year. So, is he going to have a bigger year or not? That's the reason why I say focus on Tillman and Hyatt, because we had Keaton last year. So, no change there. And obviously, Squirrel came in and made some big plays. We had him last year as well, but we're in a different XYZ with, first, second, third string wide receivers. Next question. Michael Brandon said, Squirrel balled out in the Orange Bowl. He sure as heck did. Hyatt is a legend, but we're good at wide receiver. What's your thoughts on Thornton, brought in from Oregon? I've seen him and Joe are in sync. Thornton clocked faster than Hyatt at 6'5". He's an absolute freak. Now, that's all good. A lot of Vols fans in Knoxville are talking about Thornton because, we read headlines and everybody says that he's good. Here's what I know about Thornton, and this is what I looked up last time. Now, 6'5", awesome, good height, crazy fast. We all know that, okay? In 2 years at Oregon, 2 years, he had a total of 366 yards. He caught the ball 17 times. 1 was a receiving touchdown. That's in 2 years at Oregon. Now, don't know where he was at in the rotation. Maybe he was far down. Don't know. Don't know why he was far down in the rotation. Don't know. All we know is what, everybody's fawning over him. And again, that's fine. That's awesome. I'm not discounting any of that, okay? Dude has a lot of athletic ability, but when you look at his body of work, we got 2 years, 366 yards. He's caught the ball 17 times, 1 touchdown. Okay. Let's say he's third, fourth, fifth string, got no playing time. Okay, cool. We can talk. That's fine. I mean, a lot of good guys don't get playing time. Question for me is, so far, the output hasn't really been there, but is he good when he's being double teamed? Now I think us having all the weapons and stuff that we have, 100%, the schemes we got, the weapons that we got, we're able to spread the ball around. Our running game is the most underrated running game in college football, baby. Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, Dylan Sampson. Now we got Seldon, got what was his name? Khalifa Keith, I think is his name, that we stole from Kentucky. We got one of the deepest, sexiest, most underrated running games in college football. We're going to spread the ball around. We're going to do what we do. However, like I said, my biggest questions are, because I think Milton will be fine. If not, it's Nico time. But I think Milton's going to be fine. To me, that's not even as big of an issue. I think he's at least proven to me that he can facilitate the offense. To me, the biggest thing that nobody's talking about is, are we going to be able to replace Hyatt and Tillman production-wise? And are we going to be able to do that with a new offensive coordinator? Now, if Heupel hands him playbook and says, "Hey, dude, do it this way," then we'll probably be good. But my thing is let's show a little respect as far as and I'm not saying we're being disrespectful, but I'm just saying let's keep in mind we got a new offensive coordinator and we lost on paper the greatest wide receiver maybe that we've ever had, but that we've at least had in the last 15 years. So when you guys are having conversations with people, that's something that I would pose to your local watering holes and wherever you guys are hanging out at. You know what I mean? Our backfield is nasty. Sorry, I know I skipped some comments there. I wasn't purposely trying to ignore y'all. I just got ADD, ADHD real bad. If I don't get my point across, I'll be I won't be able to get it across. But why do Tennessee fans wear orange? Because that's our team colors. I didn't pick them. I have grown to love it. I will say that on a basic standpoint, nobody's gonna wear that color choice by choice, but that's just our team name and we love it because it's our team. But yeah, no, it's just how it goes. Could have at least 2 1,000-yard rushers easily. We 100% could if they stay healthy and we can spread the ball around and get in situations where we can run the clock out in the fourth quarter and stuff. 100%, I think we could. So they don't have to change their shirt when they're doing community service Sunday morning. Go Tigers. No, see, Steely Dan. Sunday mornings we're in church. We're not picking up. That's a way overused joke. That's kind of outdated now. I don't know where you're getting your material from, but you might need to update it a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see if them Tigers go on back home empty-handed again next time we play them, because couldn't get it done at home, though. We'll see what happens, though. Tillman wasn't a factor last year. Not worried about replacing him. We should, because he made some big catches in some big games there. Yeah, he didn't play a lot, but when he did, he was definitely a factor in some key games. But yeah, no, he didn't play a lot. Like I said, man, Hyatt. Now, I think Brew McCoy is incredibly underrated, for sure. He also came up with some big catches. He also has kind of your prototypical, NFL, what am I trying to say? Your NFL makeup for the wide receiver. Dante Thornton's big as well. I think we can definitely get him worked in. My thing with him is a lot of Vols people are talking about how awesome he is, but then they're just talking about how awesome he is because they've read it in the headlines about how awesome he is. I've seen some footage. There's just not enough there for me to really be like, we're looking at a total of 17, 27, 28-ish receptions in 2 years. No, I'm sorry. I said he had 366. He's got 400, almost 500 in 2 years. It's not terrible. I guess the stat line that I was looking at was for this past year, it was for this past year. So really, for his career, there's a little bit more there. But yeah, my biggest thing is I've not seen enough to really know anything about him. But, and I'm not saying that we can't replace the output, dude. I think, I think we can replace the output. It's just, are we going to be able to with the new, there's still a couple questions. But to me, the Joe Milton thing's like not even really a factor. Like I honestly think he's going to probably do pretty good facilitating the offense. It's just, I don't know with the new coordinator and stuff how that offense is going to look, Tillman was playing it safe until it mattered. I agree with you 100%. It's Jalen Wright's first offseason completely healthy. I think he goes crazy this year. I think both of them, man. I think both of them could go off. I think they just, I don't know if they, sometimes I think they're trying to not get hurt. Jabari definitely got hurt a few times this past year, but dude, both of them could go off, or they could just split the load. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is for both of them, but both very good backs. Dylan Sampson's good. Speedster in that third spot, does a freaking awesome job. Then, like I said, we got Cam, Seldon, Khalifa Key. It's insane, dude. I feel like we have five legit backs, and in my opinion, we're most underrated in the country. But Thornton has awesome measurables. I agree he hasn't shown it on the field. 100%, man. That's my thing. Like, on paper, it's kind of like Anthony Richardson's. Everybody's looking at his stats and his height and, all this stuff, and it's like, oh, he's got so much potential. It's like, maybe so. I don't know. I've not seen enough. Didn't see him in the orange and white game. He set out. I think Brew McCoy and maybe Keaton set out, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. I know we set out a bunch of our playmakers. So I didn't get to see him in the orange and white game. Maybe they think he's just raw and don't want to show nothing off yet. 100% agree that that's probably a good thing. But yeah, I don't know. I know we can definitely get him plugged in. Like I said, my biggest questions are just how much different is this coordinator going to be from the last one? And, are we going to be able to replace the output that we lost last year, Wright could definitely have a big season for sure. That wide receiver rotation will be interesting, 100%. Because, obviously, I'm guessing, if it was me, I would have Brew and Thornton on the outside, and then I would rotate Ramel Keaton and Squirrel in at the slot. They'd be like my third, but I would keep them in the slot. Then I'd have Thornton and Brew on each side, because then you got two tall guys that are playmakers. And if you ever play, if anybody ever lines up one deep safety in the middle of the field, you just, torch them. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. And again, I'm not, if y'all are new to what I do, you may have seen my stuff in passing, but, not really stopped to poke your head in and see what's going on. But the biggest thing with my show, the Little Tangerine Show, which is a podcast, I guess I'm going to turn this tonight into a podcast episode. But my biggest thing is I'm all about talking positive about the Vols and our program. I feel like everybody's always way too negative. They're ready to fire everybody and bench everybody and whatever. We won by 7 points, but we need to fire everybody. It's too close. Like, that's not what I'm about. I'm all about positivity and looking at the positive and actually thinking rationally. So my thing is, again, I'm not saying that we're not going to be able to. Those are my biggest questions. It's not Joe Milton. I think, Joe Milton can hit any pass on the field he wants. It's just a matter if he takes a little mustard off of it or not. But his stats show us that he's a little more accurate. So those are my questions. But wide receiver rotation be interesting. My biggest concern is the secondary defense. 100% Nega Vols. Yep, they out there, man. They are out there like potholes around downtown Knoxville. So they just creep up on you without warning, and then by God, before you know it, there's a mess all over everything. Yeah, but yeah, them Nega Vols, man, I tell you, they really make our program look bad. But yeah, defense wise, we definitely lost. We definitely lost some. Overall defense, I feel like we did really good replacing. I think we did a phenomenal job replacing our defensive pieces. However, I just don't know that the output's going to come this year. But future-wise, I mean, Arian Carter, we got Slaughter number 2, Dave and Hobbs. I mean, dude, we've got some absolute beasts that we've brought in. They're young, so like I don't know how quickly they're gonna develop and be able to be, be assets. I also, with all this NIL and all that stuff, I don't know how much like new recruits even care. I know it sounds bad. The Vols are just now getting good again, but I think we did a phenomenal job replacing our defense. I just don't know when they're going to be a factor. But yeah, secondary definitely worries me. Definitely worries me. My thing is just like, if we can continue to get pressure on the quarterback, lock up that second level. I'm not saying it's okay to get beat deep, but I mean, it's a little bit more manageable. And I mean, honestly, last year our defense was that bend but don't break mentality anyways, where like we were going to let some yards and points go. It's just, be just tight enough to where you can keep it manageable. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see how it goes. I think next year's recruiting class we got going in, though, is going to fix that secondary problem, though. Yes, my podcast is on Spotify. Thank you for asking. Well, with the Vols finally getting the punishment from the NCAA, they still building great classes, which helps 100%. I think this year we fixed linebackers and defensive line. I think next year's recruiting class that we're bringing in, Boo and all those guys, I think we're going to have that secondary locked down. And let's not freaking forget, bro, Nico, highest rated recruit that we have ever got. And then now we got Mike Matthews coming in. He's going to be catching from Nico. Oh, dude, we're in a good spot on offense especially. But next year I think we're going to have that secondary figured out. But yeah, podcast is on Spotify. It is called The Little Tangerine Show. Easiest way, honestly, is just go www.bigdrewski.com. There's a tab right at the very top where you can click to listen to the podcast, and then from there it'll take you to whichever one you want. Apple, Spotify, Deezer, I think. It's on pretty much all of them. I listen on Podcast Addict. That's where I listen to my podcast at. Duck Call Room's one of mine. I got several, but I am excited as well to see the Nico Matthews connection. Welcome back, Joey Ayers. You keep popping in and popping out, buddy. Stay for a minute. Do check it out for sure. This, I may honestly post. I'm going to edit this down slightly because I let my pre-stuff roll. I will probably post this one either tonight or tomorrow, but Monday I've got an episode that's going to drop. Me and Casper, my co-host, he's not here tonight. We interviewed former Vol Jonathan Wade, who played 02 to 06. Now he's known as Coach Wade. But we interviewed him, and it's like, I edited it down as much as I could, but it's like a 2-hour long episode. But phenomenal phenomenal. Yeah. He was phenomenal episode, bro. He is an incredible human being. I've known him for a little while because just with the podcast and the lives and all this stuff, I've got to where I talk to a lot of former players and stuff now. But dude, he's an incredible human being. Some of the stories he told were hilarious, but I mean, like, he talked about Fulmer. We talked a lot about Inky Johnson, but dude, he was bringing up so many names that I was getting nostalgia like crazy. Like, he was talking about Robert Meacham, Kelly Washington. You know, he's talking about Robert Ayers, Gerard Mayo. Like, he just kept naming people. I was like, oh, dude, I forgot about it. Oh, man, dude, yeah. And it was just such nostalgia. But, man, we talked about, he explained what it was like running through the T the first time. He explained, you know, he told us a funny story about where he had an unfortunate bowel movement in the middle of a game. I mean, he told us a funny story. I don't think it's going to matter if I say it on here. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but basically, he told a funny story because he was recruiting. He was recruited by Saban, and he didn't say his name when he was telling the story, but he was talking about Saban. But it's a pretty funny story. You know, I don't want to give too much away, but like, basically Saban was like hiding in the bushes with a timer clocking his 40 time. But dude, like, we talked about, Jordan versus LeBron. We talked a little bit about NASCAR. I mean, it was insane, dude, all the stuff we talked about. Those of you that, they're listening to this podcast, I've already said this before, but, you know, I'm talking to Joshua, who's good peeps on TikTok right now. But yeah, we covered so much ground, it's insane. But that episode is going to drop Monday, or whatever. But yeah, it's about a 2-hour episode. But dude, I'm telling you what, like, if you just listen to it, you'll see what I mean. But like, you just get locked in to where it's like, I tried to cut parts out, but there wasn't any like bad parts to really cut out. I mean, it's insane. I do all the same with the names. Only Saban would do that. Now, there's a lot of other ones that would do that, I'm sure. But nah, I honest to God, Jolie Stevens is in here now. Yeah, dude, we talked about so much. I mean, it was, I honestly can't even remember. But yeah, it took me like on and off all day to like edit down the episode and stuff and get it like, downloaded and whatever. But yeah, no, it's, like I said, I'll probably release this one, I guess, tonight or maybe tomorrow. But yeah, that Jonathan Wade one will drop Monday. That'll be cool. Yeah, he's super good peeps. And I mean, like I said, he coaches now, but just listen to him and the passion. And that dude is like, when you say like, that man right there still loves Tennessee football, Tennessee Orange, as much, if not more, than if he was suiting up today. Like, he showed off he's got the Power T tatted on his arm. And I mean, that dude is such a hardcore Vol for life. Like, it was awesome for me, just being a former, or well, not a former even, but just being a fan, being able to sit down and talk to him. But like, that dude is such a hardcore Vols fan still to this day that like, it's like, man. But it's so, there's so much nostalgia on that episode. It's insane. Absolutely insane. But yeah, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off. I'd say by the time I take that first 17 minutes out where I didn't even realize my mic was muted, I'd say we'll be close to an hour and a half-ish or so. But it's pretty good, man. Tonight's just one of those nights. I didn't want to leave y'all hanging. But I was like, I really honestly could have just, I tried to take an old man power nap before I started, but I really had to like, I was like, man, I'm just going to power through it, like, screw it or whatever. But I can't go to midnight or 1 or 2 or whatever like I normally can. But when we get football season rolling, it's gonna be. I'm gonna hop on here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm just gonna roll. If everybody's still with it and trash talking and whatever, like it was last year, I'll just roll until I can't roll no more. But I mean, we'll be popping out 2 and 3 in the morning and whatever. It'll be awesome. Joshua says that's one thing I respect from all the former Vols, how much they love still, or how much love they have still to this day. Yeah, dude. I mean, like I said, you'll see what I mean if you listen to it. But yeah, definitely check it out. Little Tangerine Show. Easiest way, just www.bigdrewski.com. And then there's a listen to the podcast thing right up at the top. And on, like every time I do an interview, I intend on doing a giveaway. We gave away a $25 gift card. I let Jonathan pick a name out of the eligible winners, and all you had to do to win was basically be a follower. I put out a post promoting the interview, and I basically said, hey, comment a question that you would ask Jonathan or want to ask Jonathan. And I did actually ask some fan questions during the episode, which was awesome because we all kind of, in a way, got to be a part of it, which he loved. But, and then the third thing was you just had to share it and or tag your favorite Vol fan, and you were entered. And so what's funny is I had a bunch of people comment, I had a bunch of people share, but, and I had a bunch of people follow, but I didn't have, there wasn't that many that did all three. So I got to do a better job about simplifying it, I guess. But yeah, every time I do an interview, I intend on doing a giveaway, and I may or may not even do just some random giveaways. But I mean, it depends on the turnout. But I mean, I've got a few, Hendon Hooker rookie cards that I can give away that I got some duplicates of. I used to have an online fishing and outdoor store, but I've got probably 10 or 15 Bass Pro hats. This one obviously is opened from the package, but, I've got 10 or 15 that are like the red, white, and blue ones, Bass Pro hats. I had considered giving away, I've not even hung it up yet. I bought it for my wall, but got a autographed Hendon Hooker jersey that is, I don't know if you can see it, but it is legit certified right there. Yeah, I mean, it's, if nothing else, I'm going to be giving away gift cards galore this year because, again, I was fortunate enough this last year to be able to make a little bit of money with the streams. Like TikTok actually bought me this microphone. They sent me because of my traction and stuff, they sent me like this gift card. And so I was like, well, I'm going to use that to try to enhance the stream a little bit. And, so I just felt blessed. I mean, it's not like I'm not making enough to quit my day job or nothing, but I'm like, you know what, last year I was just trying to grow it. This year I just want to give back. I just want to help people because I know it's rough, and whatever way that I can give back to people this year, I'm going to try to do. So it is nice, Josh. It is nice. But if you guys have not already, make sure you click like, click subscribe, wherever you're at, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Kick, wherever you're watching this at. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, Spotify, Apple, all that stuff, make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe. I'm going to give y'all that's on the live a couple more seconds to go ahead and follow and all that stuff. But it's what we do every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, the way that this will work, and again, I'm trying to get more and more organized, but the way that this will work, me and Casper, my co-host, who's not here today, what we want to do is we're going to pre-record an episode that will drop probably Friday-ish morning. That'll be sort of the pre-game. And then we're going to do our lives every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Even if it's just me by myself, If it's me and Casper, me and some of my other buddies, whatever, we're going to go live. That'll be kind of the post game. And for those, I'm probably just going to hit record, and there's not going to probably be a whole lot of editing. So if there's some cussing and stuff on those, you guys might just have to bear with me. I'll make sure to put the explicit tab or whatever on it so you guys know. But yeah, those will be kind of the post games. Those will probably drop Monday. So that we're going to try to get a little rhythm going, and we may throw some extra ones in there along the way. But yeah, we're going to attempt to drop one every Friday and every Monday. I don't know that we'll do a midweek one or whatever. So, but yeah, and you know, those of you that's been listening on the podcast too as well, make sure you leave a review. Make sure you subscribe. It's funny because I can see my stats and I see you guys are listening because it's close-ish to the same number, but the subscribers doesn't match. So you guys are going in and listening, which is awesome, but make sure you subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I do one. And leave me a review. I don't care if it sucks or whatever. Leave me a review. That way I know, I guess, how to fix it or whatever. So, but we're going to go ahead. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and end this tonight, 11 o'clock. You know, I would say 11 o'clock, make a wish, but, you know, it is what it is. But love you guys. Appreciate all love and support. You guys have been awesome tonight. Cannot wait till college football starts back up. Make sure you follow the socials. Make sure you listen to the next episode with Jonathan Wade, former Vol for life, NFL defensive back. And make sure you keep up with my stuff, dude, because I'm trying to give a whole bunch of stuff away this year. Amazon gift cards. Might do some Hound Dogs gift cards for my Vols fans. I've got some rookie cards sitting around. I mean, I've got some Stetson Bennett rookie cards, all kinds of stuff that just didn't sell on eBay because in my pursuit for getting like Henry Hooker cards and stuff, I come across some deals and stuff from time to time. But I may just turn around and give those away if they don't sell on eBay or whatever. So, you know, we're trying to give back. We're trying to do the best that we can. But till next time, I am Big Drewski. I have appreciated you guys so much tonight, and I am out. Make sure you click like, subscribe, and follow. Till next time,